Let's rock. Let's rock today. All right. Keep it down, everybody. Okay. You can keep clapping for a little while. Thank you very much. We're filming before a live ostrich today, so. All right. So, I think the first thing to do here is let's just start making some stuff. On the stream, if you are watching this in the future, and you didn't read the description, and you just were like, wow, I like that thumbnail. This guy's probably insane. You're probably right. But we're going to make a tone from scratch on this Impero Stage 2. Could you go ahead and get that? There you go. On the Impero Stage 2 from scratch. I'm going to erase all this stuff. We'll make it, and then we will upload this to the community, and then the second thing, I'm probably going to do like a Neural DSP plugin suite, and we'll make some tones there. And this should be pretty fun. Let's go ahead and erase this stuff and start. So, I think I do have one that's like already. Yeah, there it is. This is the starting point. So there's nothing on here. Sounds like that. Okay, so first things first. In the Impero, I know that I like the L cab, or the large cabs. And let's go ahead and go in here. Messy. That be the one. Let's go through. And I think last time I did an angle, and then I messed everything up by saving it over another thing. So we won't do that this time. I think that sounds pretty cool. So let's just start going after this right here. So in the angle, could be way louder. That tone immediately reminds me of like a 90s Megadeth. Which is a pretty nice tone. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we can do with the controls here. I do notice on these, and I've never had an angle amp, you have an input gain. Which is, I think, supposed to saturate the input. But it doesn't do enough, really. So we'll just leave that back there. The gain kind of saturates the low end on this too, which is fine because we can kind of carve that out later. That's okay. It's a little bit bright and scooped sounding kind of right out of the gate. So I noticed about all the Ingle models. Again, I've never owned an Ingle Savage or anything like that. And this is the smooth voice, which I don't know what that means. Looks like it just put a lot more high mids in it that are just really harsh. So the rough one sounds smooth to me, and the smooth one sounds rough. And I don't think this needs any more bass. That's a lot of bass. Leave the depth boost off. But it needs a boost really, really bad. So let's do that. There's always the old yellow. And that's way too much gain. Not trying to add extra gain, we're trying to add more saturation and change the EQ, which that already sounds way better. Sounds pretty good to me. Okay, well, I like where that is. Needs a gate. Sounds pretty good. Still kind of a little bit spiky to me. Yeah. Presence will now it's a little bit too much gain, so let's go back. That feels pretty good. Okay, so I think that that's in a good spot. It's got some spiky, whistly, weird stuff kind of going on with it. But we'll add a EQ in a second to remove some of those things. And but that feels good. The dig sounds nice on it. So let's go in here and we'll remove some of this stuff. I always really like this Para EQ 2. You got to change the first band from a low cut though, like otherwise it'll like it's coming out of a cell phone. There's not a lot of low end information in here that I really would remove, but you know, maybe a touch of this. But it feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and remove some of this 26 hundo. That sound. That needs to be there, but we don't want to remove it, so. So that's pretty cool. I'm kind of listening to this. I don't really think that needs to be removed though. Maybe just some 3/4. Yeah, it feels pretty good. What else could be removed from this, really? Not really being appreciative of this kind of a sound, because it just kind of adds this like fuzziness to the tone that I'm not really into. So I've been removing this 4.5. Just kind of focuses the sound a little bit. See, it doesn't remove anything, and it's not like a negative sound. What's up, Toby? What's going on, man? So let's go back out and let's turn the EQ on and then off and then see if it's doing too much or not doing enough. And all I'm really trying to do is kind of take the cloudy high mids and get them a little more balanced. You can kind of hear that shh, shh, shh. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so this sounds really, really good. And this time we're going to save Kurt Angle, and I'm not going to erase anything else, but I'll put this up in here. Awesome, dude. Well, glad you're here. You don't know, yeah, we're building some tones from scratch on here on this Ampero. I'm going to put them up in the hot tone community. I'm also going to pick like a neural DSP plugin and kind of start from, I guess you would start from like noon on the amps and stuff and just see what I can come up with and have some fun with one of those, because I have every one of them. So a lot of people can afford that sort of stuff. And so just trying to make it something that everyone has. Can you move that chat box over? Because it's getting cut off. Me, personally. Yeah, this is really fun. It's really responsive. So what would make it better for me would be, you just got an electric guitar. What did you get? Gibson Les Paul, yeah? Let's see, let's go in here. Let's add some delay. And I always do the digital delay, always on here, because all the other delays just add crap. A double humbug. I see. Is that from A Christmas Carol? That's about, I'd say 560 or so. Kedens? Well, that's cool. What's the song you're trying to learn, Toby? That sounds great. A little more mix. So that sounds really, really good. And I personally always put my chorus before my delay. I know everyone cringes at that for some reason, but I think that it sounds fantastic. And this is my tone, so I can do whatever I want, okay? And you can't do anything about it. Well, I guess you can say something in the chat, but, you know. Metallica. One that I think is great to learn is Through the Never. And the reason for that is because it is something that you can scale up and down. And it's got a lot of techniques in it. It's down picking and double stringing on fourths. So before you learn any Metallica songs with your first guitar, you're going to start shredding some arpeggios, huh? I mean, I love that. That is fantastic. You're just like me. But yeah, arpeggios. Arpeggios are the first, third, and fifth, sometimes seventh. Sometimes major seventh. So first, third, fifth, seventh, first, third, fifth, seventh. That's the rule, okay? If you have a chord and you're playing a chord, you know, I don't know, E minor, then you go the first, the third note in E minor, the fifth note in E minor, seventh note in E minor, and you start that over. First, third, fifth, seventh. Seventh, sorry. So, if you're interested in learning that stuff, I do give guitar lessons, just throwing that out there. And I do teach very much focus on doing arpeggios, sweep picking, you know, that kind of stuff, if you like that sort of stuff, and legato, all that kind of stuff. So mixing it together. Pitch harmonics are something that, like, I think you just have to do a ton, because all you're really doing is taking your thumb and kind of just making it parallel with the end of the pick, and you're just bringing that over the string, and you just try to find, like, check this out. So you got here, there is a correspondence with these two frets. This double fret is where the octaves start over. So if this is an E, this is an E, this is an E. That's how this works. So if you tap that fifth fret, we've changed where the beginning note starts. So you can find that fifth down here. There it is. Okay, so that's where you want to strike the string. That's where you're going to get the strongest response. That's how it works. So you've got to look at it on your personal guitar. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Because if the fretboard could keep going and get in the way of the pickups, you could keep playing down here. In fact, you could go all the way to the bridge. There definitely is guitars available for sale that have like 27 frets on them. They look ridiculous, and they don't have a neck pickup. But yeah, so pinch harmonics. That's all you're really doing. You just got to get used to the idea when you move this finger to achieve that same strong kind of thing, you got to move the fret So, I'm gonna do these all day, baby. Hey, Bria, what do you think of my new song? It is beautiful. Anyways, Toby, what do you think of this? Pretty cool. All right, so we have our Engel Savage with some delay and some modulation. Dude, you could use those frets, you know what I mean, for tapping and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I think in the 80s, God, I think Ibanez is the one that I've seen the most. But there's definitely other brands who have made guitars with that many frets. But yeah, for sure. I have definitely gotten up to here and wished there was another fret, like a 25th and 26th fret. So yeah, let's see. So if you were doing something in E, you know, you might need that extra fret if you were trying to do, if you had like really skinny fingers and you could work up here real easy. Anyways, this sounds good, and I think I'm ready to send this one home. Okay? It's going to go back to the homeland where Engel Amps modeling software goes, I guess. I don't know where that floats onto Germany, probably. Okay? But I think that's where they're made. That sounds rad. So let's save this, and we will save the patch as, we'll go way far out of here so it doesn't get messed up. All right, Bree, remember this. A08-1. You won't remember. All right, and we're going to call it, since it's an Engel, we're going to call it Kurt Angle. Okay? Angle. Or, you know what would be even better? Angle of the dangle. I don't even know if I can write all that here. Dang. Oh, no. Angle of the Dan. The Dan.
There you go.
Angle. We could do dangle. No, okay, better. Officer Dangle. Here we go. Officer Dangle. Okay? There we go. Now, Officer Dangle. In arpeggios, everyone talks about the picking. I got that. I can do the fretting, that fretting. Oh, you know what you should do, man? Check this out. I'll show you in a second. I have a video I just made. So you should check it out. It's pretty cool. But if you take your hand over here and you mute this, you can just start tapping these down and getting this like in rhythm. You don't even need a pick to do this. All this stuff is... If you can get that really clean and in time and start really slow, you know, the picking hand kind of, like you said, it does matter. But getting this in time, you know, is kind of important too, so. Anyways, that's a really good technique that I like to teach people that are trying to get into sweep picking, because this kind of teaches your hand to be in rhythm. It really makes the fretting hand confident and makes you be on your fingertips, which is really, really, really important. And it makes this more percussive, which kind of helps with the overall muting of the guitar. So, and you'll get like a nice clean sound out of that. Then the picking hand of it, it's important not to let that get in the way of anything. So. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible to make big strides in sweep picking and arpeggios and stuff if you just kind of follow some guidance, right? I would give that a shot, man, and just see if you can't make that sound really clean that way, and then start adding in your pick hand afterwards. All right, so we got Kurt Angle here. Let's do another one. Angle of the Dangle. And that was A8 or something like that. Yes, Officer Dangle. There it is. Boom. Okay, so remember, 8-1. Yeah. J-Rock Rye. What is this? Uh-oh. Man, these presets on, not just on the Ampero, but I would say on like every product I've ever had, for me, suck. I've never had a product where, I mean, listen to that. What is this? Yeah, no problem, dude. It's just so dark. It's like someone's got the tone in like the trunk of a Cadillac or something, and they're gonna kill it later. You know, this is like, yeah, it's got to get lunch first. So anyways, let's start a new one, and let's go ahead and try something I haven't done before. I think I have that Bog Dweller one. That was a cool tone. Again, let's start from the beginning. Nothing in here. That's what it sounds like. Okay, so we'll do a cab that's in here. Let's do that. We'll do a large cabbie, big cab dog, cabman, cabman. Cabot. Okay. And then we'll start with an ampy. And I really haven't done a ton of these preamps, but I don't know if I'm really interested in that. But it might be fun to mix and match a power amp with a preamp. You know what? Let's do that. That might be something that's fun to do, because I've never done that. Let's do a preamp, and we'll choose a preamp that the Marshall JCM 900. This is the amp that was used on one of my favorite, or lots of my favorite amps or albums. But there's the sound of the guitars on the self-titled Foo Fighters record is this one. Kind of a jangly Marshall tone, but this was, I guess, in, you know, I don't know that if this was in the Robert Lang studios and he was just using one of their amps, or this is the amp that he preferred. But this is, I think, you know, famously the one that made all the guitar sounds on that, which are, I think, my favorite guitar sounds that Foo Fighters ever did. Same with the drum sounds. They just sound kind of like, I don't know, I know he just got done working with like Steve Albini. I don't know if that was like in his head when they were doing that, but those drums sound so good on that album. I love that thing. That is like one of my favorite recordings of all time. And unfortunately, they just got more polished as time went on. But you know what I mean? I loved Dave when it was just like throwing the riffs down and just going for it, because that guy's got a lot of, you know, a lot of good ideas. That was Little Dave when he had like the baby face, you know, back in the day. Medium or high out versus high output pickups, I don't think it matters. I think it's up to you, man. I think if you like the way it feels to play through a medium output pickup and you like a little bit less attack and compression, then I think that that's what you should do. I've used medium output pickups and they're fine. I think that, to me, I would rather have a high output pickup because I can just back the pickup off and then voila, it gives me less output. So that's my take on it, is that the high output pickup, I can just, you know, move, because it's a little microphone. So the closer it is to the strings, the more bass and the more treble that you're going to get, you know, because of proximity effect. And I can control everything a lot better with a high output pickup. But if you get a medium output pickup really close to the strings, you can get a really cool sound, you know. I don't know if I would do that for, say, like drop tune, like Meshuggah stuff, but like I'd say all the way down to probably like C standard, maybe even B. You'd be pretty impressed by what happens. See you later, Toby, man. Yeah. If you need any extra help, you know, let me know. Get you shredding in no time. All right, so Marshall, JCM 900, maybe not. Let's do, I haven't done a rectifier yet. That's the vintage. This is the modern. I don't really feel that different. I've always loved the sound of a rectifier, though. I think the thing about a rectifier, though, is, to me, the solo tones are not like exactly what I like. They just feel too scooped, and I could never get it to not be scooped. Even with a boost, it never gets the mids forward enough. Which is why I kind of like a rectifier for the rhythm tones, and then a Mark series Mesa, like a Mark IV, for solo tones. So, but the rectifier, in my opinion, is just it's a straight up goat. Like it's been on so many records, and it sounds so good. But we're gonna do preamp, power amp. I wonder what the difference is. Because on this, if you do a power amp, then you can change out the power amp tubes, apparently. All the way to 6V6, KT66, KT88, 6550s. Which this is a lot of different stuff. But that's a lot of control over the sound of a Mesa, really. And if you've ever had a rectifier, at least the 2-channel ones like I've had, you can rebias it and hit a switch and then use EL84s or 6L6s. So it can do that in real life. You can't do it with a flick of a switch, really, but... So, I've always loved the sound of KT88s. I mean, without even looking at that, that is a different sound. And then we got Presence on here. You have SAG, which SAG is like the power, you know? So like it and then responsiveness and negative feedback from the power amp. Pretty cool, man, this Ampero. That already sounds pretty cool. So let's do... I mean, that's pretty cool. The yellow drive really doesn't agree as much, and that's, you know, like the as like a green. Like the 808 Tube Screamer and a Mesa is such a classic sound. I like where that is right now. Let's go to the preamp though. And now when you're adding gain, I think what I'm always looking for is the low end response and kind of the saturation. It's getting a little bit fuzzy, so let's go back to... We'll get the bite. When you're doing a tone on a Tube Screamer too, like, I don't know if everyone knows this, but you're affecting the way the gain bites or doesn't. So if you change the tone to more high end, that top will have more sizzle to it. That sounds really, really cool. So let's go to the preamp again. That's perfect. That sounds good too. All right, that sounds pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So right now we're doing a T9 overdrive, the Ibanez. What happens when I add a little bit more boost? That sounds awesome. So the amp itself, the preamp, that sounds great too. So I love where this is sitting. I want to try out some of these power tubes while this is... The 6L6 sounds pretty great, man. Six V6 too has got like a bite to it. It's got kind of a weird thing going on in like the mid range though, like I don't know, almost high mids is kind of like too forward. It's making it sound kind of weird and shallow. Guess I'm gonna have to go with this. What do you think? Is that too sharp? It needs some work on the low end. Kind of like a cocked wah thing going on. So anyways, let's go ahead before I get too focused on that and do let's do some EQ moves on this with a post EQ. We'll go to this. And the rectifier really just has like way too much of this muddy like 250 to like 300, and so I always, when I'm using a rectifier, pretty much just attack that area right away. So let's get in there. This, which kind of sounds like you're hitting like the side of like a plastic bucket or something, which I don't like. See, that cleaned it up a lot. There's some more stuff in here, so let's keep going. Definitely on this one, there's going to be like some 500 and 600 that also is kind of, I would say, pee and poo. And it's this. So for as scooped as this thing does sound, it's got mids in a spot that I personally... So that feels pretty good. And then there's like a little bit of this swirly, hissy stuff. 3-4 area right there. Let's get it. Yeah, there you go. Yes. All right. Fuzzy. All right, that sounds pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let's do some delay in the one I like the most, okay? And if you don't like it, well, that's just too bad. That's really high. Like 5/7. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, that's cool. Let's do some... What was the one I did before? Okay. That feels pretty good. Okay. What happened? How is pitch shifting on this modeler? You know, I think it is the part of it that I'm the least impressed with, but let's take a look. And I'm just being totally honest. I think it excels a lot at other stuff. This is a model of the 5th generation of the whammy. So the position is where the pedal is, okay? So you can hear it's very steppy. And I was like, I don't know about that. But we could go down or up. Kind of sounds like T-Pain, and it does not sound smooth like a pitch shifter would go. That kind of bummed me out. So there's that. But it does do the other functions of the whammy pretty well. But in the stuff that it really does well, it really does well. It really has a great... yeah, see, it just doesn't sound very natural. I mean, it sounds cool, but it's not... If you're trying to get it to sound like a whammy pedal, like the Digitech brand, I don't think it's as good. But I don't think that the pitch shifting in almost anything other than the Quad Cortex really sounds fantastic. And if you're trying to get a really good sound, a used whammy pedal, I've gotten them for as low as $150 for just the regular one. So if you're really trying to get that, you probably already have one, and you could just set it on your board next to this thing or something like that. And I think that would pretty good. I mean, even when I had like a Line 6 Helix, I still used a whammy just because the pitch in that was not fantastic to me. But yeah. think that this is a great tone though, and it's got some good stuff in here. So it's also really quiet. If I don't know what I don't know what Mesa product they were testing, but all the rectifiers I had were pretty noisy. But that's a really, really nice tone. So let's go ahead and let's save that. And we're not going to put it over 8-1. Okay? So don't do that, Brie. Don't you dare. Oh my God. I will come down on you like a tiger, okay? With a cloven hoof. You know what I mean? Okay? So what are we going to call this? Because Stevie T already did rectal fire. Okay? I could call it rectum spire. That would be pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Let's do that. Rectum spire. Oh, requiem. I like that better. Rectum spire. Okay? There you go. Okay? All right. Now that we did that, we're good to go. All right, so we have rectum spire. It's going to be up in there. Let's take a teeny break, and then I'm going to do I want to do a little bit of like a neural DSP plugin, because that'll be a fun thing to do, because I got all of them, and there's some really fun stuff in the Misha Mansour one that I want to play around with. So take a little break, come right back. See you in a second. Yes. All right, we're back. And I'm going to play around with the Misha Mansour plugin that came out a little while ago, which is pretty fun. I played around with it a little bit this morning, and that's like the first time I've really, turned any knobs on it or done anything. And kind of right out of the box, this is what it sounds like. I have it on a preset called Kill Switchy. But if you go in here and you look through these, this is supposedly Church Burner. These are just so quiet. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, they sound cool. I think that like everything, I'm going to have to make my own thing, and that's why this might be fun. So let's take a look at what we've got here. We got Jake Bowen made some in here. Huh? Let's see. Lead. What does Jake think? This is so quiet. Like. Yeah, that's really, really quiet. And I guess maybe their pickups are just really bright because what I'm hearing here, something that's really, really, really dark. Like I would come in here and do a lot of work to this. Like, look at how far off of the look at how far off of the dust cap this thing. Like, what's up with that? Yeah, I don't know, man. This is a weird take on stuff to me. But again, I think whatever their setup is probably what's kind of making it feel that way. Now there is like Jack Gardner. This guy's a shredder, dude, and he's got great sounds from what I've heard him play. It's probably gonna be really dark. So yeah, what? It's just like. And a Royer. So let's go in here. Let's turn this way down. No drive. God, the sustain on this is quite a lot. Could probably even back this down. And then I think like the microphone choice also, a condenser and a ribbon might not be the way to go. So let's see. Let's do do that, and then this ribbon mic to me, everyone likes the Royer, and in a 57, I've never liked how dark that is. So I've never even owned one because when I've used them in the studio, I just feel like they're too dark. This is crazy sounding to me. Like. This is crazy. So let's see. What's the other amps in here? Yeah, I mean, all of this just sounds, meh. Let's see. So we have some artists here, and there's a Nolly one in here. There's a Mick Gordon one in here. Spyro, this dude. He knows what he's doing. That's awesome. You know what this sounds like? It's like an SNL sketch. This is a lot of fun. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like when David S. Pumpkins comes out of the elevator. It does. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now you know. Sick lead. Okay, let's see. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's kind of whatever. What has Neural DSP made for us? The Phosphorus King. I don't know what this is. You know what I mean? Like, to me, this is, I mean, maybe I got to use like a really low tuned guitar. Let's see, I have this, the Bender Mobile. This thing is in drop F. So let's hear what's going on with the old, oh my God. It's broken. That was the final blow. It's donezo, dude. Alright. The thing is, that's the last time that can be used right there. Okay, let's see what we got here. I mean, it already does kind of sound more proper now that we're in like a way lower tuning. So let's see what we got going on here. Balanced breakfast. Blackout Genty. Wow. Pretty cool. I think what I should do is probably try to make my own. So let's first of all, I think of all the amps I've heard, this is probably going to be the one right here. That's the right voice. And judging by this EQ right here, this looks like the EQ you would use on like a 2-channel rectifier. It does kind of have that vibe. So it's pretty cool. Okay, that feels way more proper to me. Another thing that's interesting about these suites is that I can't do any post EQ. I obviously can in my DAW, but it seems like, why wouldn't you have that in these suites? Feels pretty good. I think, okay, there is post EQ, but it is, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 band with 2 shelves on it. So, I guess it doesn't feel like it's doing anything. Ah, oh, I see. It's not on. This noise of immense farts. Well, before we stop, I want to mess around with this laser thing because this was a good time. And I only really did this a little bit. I like messed with the knobs a little bit and then I was like, hey, what the hell is this? And then I found out that it's just hours of fun, I think. So, it's like a cat. You could do like Christmas cats with this. Yes. Okay. This is like my cat in the hallway all night. In fact, that's what this should be called. Okay, it's called Dissonant Wham. It should be called Cat 3 a.m. It does. And this is, let's see. This is 4 cats at 3 a.m. Okay? Which is great, okay? This is non-stop fun for me. Okay, and for this one in particular, I think that having a regular standard tune guitar is a little bit more effective just because that low register really kind of chunks up the modulation on that. So new Muse song. This Misha Mansour plugin, like I was saying before, like just the tone on its own, I wonder what this sounds like with. That's pretty good. It sounds like a rectifier. You know what I mean? I think that's what this is. It's not, doesn't have like the obligatory like diamond plate on it. But that high end to me, those high mids really sound like a 2-channel rec. I wonder if Misha disclosed what these are, because does anyone know? So let's go back to the laser time here, okay? Let's go back to this annoying, obnoxious thing. Yes. All I can imagine is a cat's mouth opening over and over again. Okay? All right, what else we got in here? We got dual wham. Jesus. God, that is just too much fun. Okay, then we have this one where the pedal moves, which I think me and Bree both thought was hilarious. Okay, and then what's this? A fucking motorcycle riding into hell. That's pretty nice. Let's see, inverted wham. Jesus, this is wild. Tracking on this is nuts, by the way. The fact that it can track this. Is nuts to me. When I was a kid, we had these like Zoom pedals that had crap that was in this kind of vein, and like it would just melt the notes together and it wouldn't track it very well. Listen to this. That's a pinch harmonic. What in the... What the... Man, it's bozo dubbed over, son. Clown pewter. That's what this should have been called. It's called the laser. It should have been clown pewter. This guy's about to jerk off, okay? This is every like post grunge beginning nu metal song. Over the top of like a bass guitar going slap slap clickety click click. Okay, that's all you got to do. And then Jonathan Davis goes, "Come on!" That's all you got to do, man. They figured it out. They were smart, okay? They knew that that's what you wanted to hear. They delivered. This is great. That sucks. I don't like that. Bring the cats back, goddammit. Oh. That's crazy. Okay. There's also this glitch thing, which... so much crazy stuff. I mean, like, to me, this little part of the Misha Mansour plugin on its own is like worth buying it. Like, it's, I don't know, you could use this for so much stuff. Even if you turned off the amps and everything, you could use this for like vocals or anything like that. That's, I mean, you could be endlessly creative with this. And I do plan on using this for sure, because this so ridiculous. And I think that this is not only just fun, but you could sit here and make something really original and cool. So, Misha, man, you did a really good job with this. I think this is really, really cool. It did take me personally a second to and I like this tone. But even this, I would brighten this up a little bit somehow. I feel like I just can't get this bright enough. Maybe I'm deaf. Does that sound muffled to you? And when I do bring in the high end, it's high end that I'm not really fond of. So that's just my ears. So I'm going to save this as... let's see. We'll say, what is this? Ractal fire. No. I think this is, we'll just call it, we'll call it P. Okay, there we go. P is good. That's always worked. Okay, and I can't save it because P is a name that can't go in there, maybe. How about, we'll call it Fard. Oh, there. Save preset. Boom.
It has to be more than 3 characters.
Oh, wow. All right, and how about Fard Shid? There we go. In ban room. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, you get the point. Ban throw. This is good. Okay. Very good. Very, very good. Rock and hard rock. Yeah, man. Totally. This is a hard rockin' preset, I'll tell you. Boom. Fard and shit and bathroom. Okay? Oh my gosh. Okay, well this was a ton of fun. My hands feel stupid today, and my brain feels even more stupid because I'm tired for some damn reason. Nah, they're working okay. Not as clean as I usually play though. But see what I mean? Like, there's just something about this plugin where it never punches through with the high mids that I'm looking for. So I'd probably need to manipulate this after the fact. But you know, I've put 57s on the Mesa cabs in here hundreds and thousands of times, and I've configured them all different kinds of ways, and creambacks, and I've done eminence speakers, and I've done this Rev cab over here. I've had Bogner cabs, all kinds of stuff. And I swear to you, this is not what it sounds like. I've never put a 57 on a cabinet and it sounded that muffled. So, ever. It comes back with so much rattly high mids and stuff, and you end up having to like figure out how to get rid of that stuff by phasing it out. So, this is definitely EQ'd on the way out, or the speakers that were modeled in this are extremely old or very, very, very dark. But this does remind me of like an eminence speaker in the way that it's very like pulled back in the high mids. And it has a lot of low mids in it, which, you know, this is all preference. So if you like that kind of stuff, I personally like things to be a little bit more forward. I wouldn't say like shred your eyes off bright, but so sounds cool. I only really did this one amp. We'll have to do some more. I'm interested if anyone has suggestions for what amp and cab and like mic to use in this suite. Like if you've gotten an awesome sound, please let's hear it. So yeah, if you do like this, which this is a good tone, very, very responsive. It just, like I said, it's a little bit darker, you know, which that's up to you. I don't think it sounds bad, but I'm just a little princess and I need things to be exactly right. So I can't just emote just the right way when it's that dark. I don't know, it's just weird, man. So, all right, Bree, let's go the stream out with a little cat Christmas here. Let's go back up. So I'll send you guys off with this. Merry Christmas, everybody.